All right, let's talk about one of my favorite topics, and that is how to study effectively with friends. Now, this was something that I was doing like from my first year of university onwards, and I think it was one of the few things that really kind of changed the game in terms of making studying a lot more fun for me. And there's a few tips I've got for studying with friends. So firstly, you want to find the right group of people who's all motivated to study at around about a similar level. There's not much point getting people in the group who absolutely hate studying and who are going to distract everyone. So you kind of want to have a group of friends who are like, a bit of a nerd themselves, ideally. Secondly, I think it's really important that someone in the group takes charge of what the study session is going to look like. So for me and my friends, I was usually the one that took charge because, someone's got to do it. And the way that we would do the session is we would all get together in the library of Emmanuel College, and we'd be using the Pomodoro technique. So we'd have 25 minutes of work and then 5-minute break, 25 minutes work, 5-minute break. And we would kind of tap on the table to signal when these breaks were starting and finishing. And we had one person who was like the Pomodoro master, who would have the Pomodoro timer up on their screen and who'd be sort of timekeeping for everyone else in the group. And initially this can be daunting, especially if you've not studied with friends before. But I'd really recommend just sort of plucking up the courage and saying to your friends that, hey guys, why don't we all go to the library together and study? You can say it with a bit of a smile on your face as if you're sort of joking, but you're not joking, you're being completely serious. And for the most part, in my experience, people will come along for the ride with you. Maybe you'll get a bit of, such a nerd, I don't want to study, and all this sort of stuff. But you can leave those people behind. For the most part, most people that I was friends with at least were keen on studying with other people because it just makes it infinitely more enjoyable. A few other pointers. So if you're studying the same topic, it can be very easy for, one person to start, shouting out all the answers and the other people to just sort of be like, oh yeah, I knew that. So one point that we would do is that whenever we got multiple of us medics in the room together, and if we were all studying the same thing collectively, we would, for example, see a flashcard on the screen, and then we would impose like a 10-second silence where everyone had a chance to think about it and ideally write an answer down on paper so they committed themselves to paper. Whereas if it was just a free-for-all, then, Paul, who knew the answer to everything, would just shout out the answer, and the rest of us wouldn't have a chance to actually use active recall to try and dredge up that information from our brains. So the main thing I would say is that if you are doing the same thing, make sure you give everyone in the group a chance to do the thing. And if that requires imposing moments of silence, that's absolutely fine. You might have to be a, totalitarian tyrant for a little while, but everyone will appreciate it in the long run because they'll appreciate kind of being guided through this process of studying with friends. So yeah, studying with friends is great, and I'd really recommend you give it a try, but maybe it'll work for you, maybe it won't. It sort of does depend on the friendship group dynamics, so don't feel bad if it doesn't really work out. But I think it's worth giving a shot because it can have the potential to change your life by making all the studying much more pleasant. So yeah, that's it. How to study effectively with friends. Just some general tips from me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.